There was a gentleman named Otterkirk at 3M Corporation. He won the Innovator of the Year award the same year that I won the Scientist of the Year award from R&D magazine. And so we met at this event. He worked at 3M. And this is a very interesting thing. If you find this fascinating, is that they did a study on the people who worked at 3M and how much money each individual made for the company over their career. And they compared it to the amount of money they invested in them over their career. And how can you calculate how much money somebody's made for you? And what they did is they said, how much did this person contribute to these patent claims, and how much do these particular claims make for us? So that's how they got their metric. And the average scientist at 3M made $5 for every dollar invested in them, in their salary, benefits, everything. $5 for the company. So there's this bell curve. The sweet spot was $5. But there were some people out here that were making $500 for every dollar invested in them. So you hire one of these people, and it's equivalent to hiring 100 of these other people. What's with these people out here? What's special about them? So they studied these people, and they turned out to be T people. And this is how they called it. It's that they are very deeply trained. This is the vertical axis, very deeply trained in something. PhD in a hard science or engineering, but extremely broad in their ability to talk across fields. Very deeply trained, but extremely broad in being able to speak across. Because if people tell me they're nanotechnologists, I'm like, I don't know what that means. What do you really know how to do? You need that vertical piece. You can't just be up here and I'm a nanotechnologist. You got to be trained in something very deeply. This gives you a fundamental. And then learning how to speak from biology to electronics to materials and all these different things all the way across that. And that's what every one of these people had. So that's what you want to shoot for. And being 35 years in an area allows you to have a breadth of data to think about and say, wow, if they knew this in that field, it's going to have a tremendous advance. And so you take things from one field, and we do this all the time. We were making nanoparticles for downhole sensing, and then we ended up using it, and it's a drug in one of my drug companies because we ended up applying it to a totally different area. And so you take things from one area and you seed into another area. And what happens is people have never seen this technology in their area. They're like, how did you think of this? And they just don't know that this is commonplace over here. You just didn't know about it. Like when we made little molecular switching devices, they'd say, how many of those did you make? I said, 10 to the 23rd. I mean, 10 to the 23rd. How do you make 10 to the 23rd devices? Each device is a molecule. And how do you know they're all the same? Because I know they're all the same because I did spectroscopy on it. You get, it took from the dawn of the silicon era, 1960, it took until about the year 2000 to make 1 mole, 6 times 10 to the 23rd transistors. We do that all the time with molecules in the lab. So single entities, I mean, chemists can make more of single entities than anybody, hands down. And so you take that and you enter into the field of electronics now, and it's like, wow. Now I just have to access them. Because if I had a liter of water and I could program into each one of those molecules in that liter of water a bit of information, I could have all the information in humankind for the last 5,000 years. Every bit of information that was in somebody's brain, I could program into that liter of water if I could put one bit of information into each one of those water molecules.
You'd have to
But
have
now
a pretty
I just
good
have to access it.
You'd have to have a pretty good lattice though, right? Because if you'd have an information soup if you weren't careful there.
Exactly. It's access. It's an access problem. But it's not having a materials problem. It's not the entity problem. And this is why when Jesus said, whatever a man speaks, every careless word that a man speaks, he shall render account for in the day of judgment.
I'm gonna remember that one. That one's gonna come in handy later.
Yes, yes.
That's so true, though.
Yeah,
so true.
Yeah.
You know, it's very difficult to control your speech, and it's the simplest way to get yourself in order at the same time.
Yeah.
Wise words,
Yeah.
Jesus.
And it's could it all be recorded? It's recorded in the cloud. I mean, the amount of material that you need to record information. That's why I remember in 1999 when we were doing this molecular, we were thinking, can you imagine if we could record every keystroke on a computer and everything is always, and now we do this, no problem. This is nothing. This is nothing. And I'm just looking back 25 years and what seemed amazing 25 years ago is commonplace today.